I see persons have come on already. I am just warming up, trying to find my way around on this live that I'll be doing today. Feel free to feel welcomed. Feel free to ask any questions you may have. I will be starting officially at 8. In another 22 minutes, I'll be starting. But since this is my first official stream, I am just trying to find my way around this platform. I was trying to see if I could play some music, but I have no idea how to do that. Hi, Sashana. How are you, Sashana? No idea how to play the music while, you know, the I'm waiting. I'm not sure. So if there is anybody that can give me some insight into that, I'd appreciate it. But for now, I will just be here observing the flow of things, and I will start promptly at 8. Sashana, where are you from? Okay, I'll be using my phone to help me to navigate this discussion I'll be having, which is really just sharing some things that I have been learning here in Japan. Okay, still no idea of how to. Hmm. Mhm, mhm. Ah, Sashana, you live in Kobe. Thank you so much. Remember, whatever information you share on the chat will be public. It will be public. So keep that in mind. Oh, I always see persons do this when they go on lives. They check to see if persons are hearing them clearly, which I clearly have not done. But it seems so far that Sashana can hear me. So I really appreciate that. I live in Nagoya, Sashana. I'm living in Nagoya. And I'd love to know how you learned about this live. I know it's a little bit early in Japan, I mean, not too early, but still, it's Sunday, and we know Sunday here in Japan is a little different from Sunday back in Jamaica. And so, yes, by now, if you didn't know, I am from Jamaica. I am so nervous. Why am I nervous? Okay. I'm a little nervous because my notes are on my phone instead of in my book, which I would have preferred. I'm a pen and paper kind of person, you know. I thought of coming back off the live, but if persons are willing to bear with me, then I am sure I can. Well, maybe I can. I don't know if persons will be able to hear this music if I play it. Thank you so much, Sashana. I'm wondering, could you hear that music that I started playing just now? It was so loud. I'll just faintly. Thank you so much for the feedback, Sashana. I'm not sure. No idea how to do those things. No idea. No idea. Um, but it's okay. It's okay. It is absolutely okay. Even my voice has not yet woken up on this Sunday morning. Okay. Sashana, how long have you been here in Japan? How long, if you don't mind? And I'm waiting like as if I'm going to hear you answering. Carla, long time supporter. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I'm a little bit early. I have another 15 minutes before I start officially. Wow, how do people do lives? I cannot tell you, but it is certainly a new experience. Wow, Sashana, you are a newbie, what we call a newbie. I moved here last year, early January. Thank God you came here before COVID-19 because there have been many a disappointment since COVID has come. Many persons have not been able to, to come from Jamaica as they had planned. Carla, how are you doing? Carla has been following, supporting. I don't know what to call it. I honestly don't know because I have been saying since I created this little space on YouTube, I don't call it a channel. I have been saying to myself, what is this for? But I created it. I wanted to share information. I don't consider myself to be a YouTuber. So you usually don't hear in my videos like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That's the latest addition that I keep hearing played over and over in my mind from persons who are trying to promote their channel, trying to grow their channel. But that's not what I'm about on this space. But Carla has been with me all this time, supporting my non channel. My non channel. A few more minutes, you know, a few more minutes to go. Remember, if you have any questions, I hope to make this live about 45 minutes. Um, just depending on how things go, but I still do plan to go to church this morning here in Japan. My church starts at 9:30 a.m. So I will be hoping to end by the latest 9 so I can make my way. Once again, thank you for joining. Please let me know where you are joining from. I'm learning these things, as I give myself some more time to prepare for this sharing, this time of sharing. It is just about sharing, and I can start to feel myself relax because sharing is something that comes naturally to me. So I don't have to be as as nervous as I felt myself this morning. I just want to give God thanks for this time, for the opportunity, for this space. Forgive me if I close my eyes. Is that okay sometimes? As I meditate and reflect on these 5 years And my friend Daniel has joined. Thank you so much for coming on, for coming on, for coming on, Daniel. Really appreciate you remembering. Persons were saying, "Oh, if I remember." I try to choose the best time that would facilitate persons in Japan as well as in other parts of the world, namely Jamaica, of course. Other parts of the world can be quite a bit diverse in hours. All right. So welcome, Daniel from Cayman. From Cayman. And Sashana is in Japan, and she moved to Japan last year, 2020. Thank God, before the pandemic hit or was named among us. All right. So, as I said, I'll be using my phone to reference the notes that I have when I begin sharing. Feel free to ask any questions, show some love, some support. Um, if you know anything about life, please tell me as I am learning. Maybe I should make this one a little more. I don't know. What do you think of my plain background? This is actually where I sit and work usually. Hence the plain background, hence this boom microphone, which I quite like the boom microphone as opposed to just my regular earphone because the quality is just better. The clarity is much better, right? The clarity is much better. So, just as a reminder, what I'll be talking about today, what I'll be talking about in the next 11 minutes are five lessons that I have learned in the past 5 years. Today marks my 5 year anniversary. That sounds kind of 5 years in Japan. I've been living in Japan since 2016, March 21st. It is March 21st here in Japan. And this is the first time I've actually decided to mark, celebrate, reflect, and share on this another anniversary in Japan. I wish I could play some music for you guys, but instead, maybe I should sing. Sing a little. The voice is a little itchy. Yes, yes. But give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Oh, give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. And let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. And let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. Hallelujah. Bless the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, I would not be here today. I would not be here. And of course, I'm going to be sharing on 5 lessons. But the truth is, I've learned and continue to learn many lessons here in Japan. Here in Japan. All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Just reminding persons that the live is going on now. If you know somebody who'd be interested in hearing about life in Japan, please feel free to share the link with them. Please feel free to share the link with them. Okay. I'm learning. And if you have any tips for me, please share. Please share. One of the things I've always heard persons saying is try not to look down or look away from the camera. Keep your audience engaged. Keep your audience engaged. Hmm. Keep your audience engaged. Hmm. You know, I know there's a way to play music while the live thing is waiting, but I'm not so sure how to do it. Cheryl Franklin does it, and I've been watching her. But I don't know, maybe in future I will learn a little bit more about navigating this platform. All right, another few minutes to go. I will do an official welcome and opening remarks at that time, and I will open in prayer as well. Okay, maybe I can sing one of my Japanese songs. Tanoshi yo home utae sei naru shuni kokoro sasage utae subarashi shuni subarashi shuni. Yes, I worship your holy name. All right. 5 more minutes to go. Counting down, counting down. Okay. So, I was reading last night, some tips about YouTube, and they say you should come on earlier and check things. Maybe I came on a little too early. Maybe I came on a little too early. What is this button for? Ah, I see, I see. It's a sharing the link button. Hmm, I don't know. Link copied. Sharing the link. I don't know. Give you a link to share. I don't know. Maybe that will work. Yes, 5 years in Japan. 5 years in Japan. 5 years in Japan. 5 years in Japan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, my channel name, my non-channel name is changing. I have actually changed it already from Stacy in Japan to Stacy personally speaking, because while I'm sharing information about Japan, um, there isn't that great focus to share every aspect or our life in its fullest sense in Japan, but really things that have impacted me, that I have learned, that I believe might be of significance to others. Okay, a few more minutes. Let me have a little bit of just water to keep the throat moist. Just water. Just water. here. Mhm. What's that? What's that? What's this? Expand. Okay, what's this? Hmm. Expand. Hmm, 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 hmm. Mhm. Okay. Any any professionals out there? Any live streaming professionals out there? Any live streaming professionals who want to give me some tips or insights on using this YouTube Live? YouTube Live, YouTube Live. 2 minutes, 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go, and I believe it is a good time to start welcoming persons. I have 3 persons, 4 persons. I am anticipating more persons to join. 5 persons. Persons are coming on board. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Please let me know where you are joining me from. Where are you joining me from? How did you hear about this live that I'll be doing today? How did you hear about it? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know persons usually wait a little bit, for more persons to join. I might not be doing that so much. Um, but this is very interesting, I think. If you come on to the live too early and you are not quite sure what to be saying at that time, that can be a really lull time for persons who might listen to the playback. And I'm not even sure if you can edit live videos once they have been uploaded, maybe, just to um, cut off some of the lull moments that might be associated. It is officially 8 o'clock. It is 8 a.m. here in Japan, Sunday, March 21st, here in Japan, marking 5 years since I've been in Japan. Technically, I didn't arrive at 8 a.m. I arrived in the evening in Japan. So technically, I'm still in the aircraft. Oh, thank you so much for that information, Sashana. Thank you. Thank you, Sashana. Please feel free to provide me with any more tips that you may have. Let me see if I can adjust this down a little bit more. Okay. Hello. Hello. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Bix. Feixbix. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for taking time to come on today. I'm going to have to try and say today instead of this morning. It's morning here in Japan. So I just want to welcome those persons who have joined. Remember to let me know that you are here. Put something in the chat. Let me know where are you joining me from, so I can bless up your place. I know Jamaica is in the house. Jamaica is in the house, representing from Cayman as well as other persons here in Japan. All right, so I want to personally welcome Sashana, again, who is still with me. Carla, I'm not sure if she's still here, but she has been a long time supporter of my non-channel, my YouTube channel. Um, Danielle, as I so affectionately call her, she is representing, listening from Cayman, and Mervin, always faithful, supporting, caring. Mervin is joining from, this is the land of my birth, Jamaican land we love. Wow, Fix Bix. I hope I'm calling that correctly. Is in Switzerland. Switzerland, and they need to go to bed. I'm not sure if it's a male or female. They need to go to bed. It's after midnight in Switzerland. I understand. Thank you so much for stopping by just to give some love and support. And my friend, my dear friend Nicola has joined. She said, "Me there, me there." Oh my God, this is too much. This is too much. Wow, this is too much. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. I have 9 persons now on the live. This is the first time for me, like officially, where I planned ahead to do this live to share with persons. Okay. To share with persons. Facebook says he's male. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me from Switzerland. Wow, is Switzerland cold? I'm terribly afraid of cold places, but I would really love to visit Switzerland one day. Thank you so much. Of course, you hear Switzerland, you think of Swiss chocolate and Swiss watches, just Swiss everything, right? Oh, Miss Wilson, my beloved Mona has joined. Oh my gosh, how do people do these lives? I don't know. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. I will say it. Ah, Fexbix says it is a bit cold in Switzerland. It's a bit cold. Well, right now here in Japan, if you're just joining, just tuning in, my name is Stacy and Hyde, and I'm here in Japan celebrating 5 years. Today marks the 5 year anniversary of my leaving from Jamaica to be in Japan for a short while. I said 4 years. But here I am from my nice tropical climate, Jamaica, to Japan. Not as cold as certain places up north, but it certainly does have all 4 seasons, which is a lesson in itself. -3 Fix. No, 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 no. That is too cold for me. Too cold. I hope the summertime is much warmer. I am here. I am here. Nihongo, nihongo, nihongo. Wakahalanai. I am here. I see I am here. Welcome. I'm not sure who that is who has joined, but I truly appreciate you coming on. And if you don't mind putting your name in Romaji, I would appreciate that so much. Okay, so welcome again. It is 5 minutes past 8, and I am trying to do this sharing time within the hour. Um, so let me officially start. I am going to open in prayer. For those who know me, I am a Christian, a firm believer and follower of Jesus Christ, and I want this time to be unto his honor and glory. So let us pray. Father, I thank you for this morning, for this opportunity, for this time, for those who have taken the time to stop by, to listen, to share with me, oh God. I pray that there will be much learning and sharing unto your honor and unto your glory. Let your name be lifted up even during this time, mighty God, as I share with persons what I have learned because you have been here with me in Japan, guiding me. Let everything go smoothly, no technical issues, oh God, as I learn from them also. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. Okay. Wow. Wow. Ah, Taco. Yes. Thank you so much, Taco. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Usually, Takao will be off on his morning run. Off on his morning run. And thank you guys for just being here with me. Facebook says he has been seeing my videos for quite some time. Wow, interesting. You see, you never really know who is actually seeing and watching your videos. Now, I As I said before, welcome again. My name is Stacy and Hyde. I am from Jamaica and I have been living in Japan for the past 5 years. Today, March 21st, marking that 5-year anniversary, and I decided it prudent to celebrate this 5th-year anniversary by sharing 5 lessons that I learned in my time here in Japan. 5 years. 5 years today. 5 years I have been here in Japan. Originally, my plan was to come to Japan and spend 4 years. 4 years. But that has changed to 5. So, what has happened, Stacy? What has happened? Wait, wait around and you will find out what has happened. Once again, welcome to those who have joined on this live platform. Please let me know where you are joining me from. Are you joining me from Yard? We got persons from Jamaica. We got Jamaicans living in Cayman representing, Jamaicans living in Japan representing. I have Fix Bix from Switzerland, representing Switzerland on this cold, cold morning. It's after midnight in his country and it's -3 degrees in Switzerland. Thankfully, here in Japan today is um, just 17 degrees. 18 degrees. It's a bit rainy today here in Japan. Not my favorite weather. Yes, Tako. It's rainy also here in Nagoya. It is also rainy. Wow. So thank you so much for joining. As I said, Tako is a friend of mine who I met in the very first year. Oh my gosh. So I have known Tako for almost 5 years. I met him in my first year of being in Japan in a city called Korea. We actually lived in the same city in Takahama City. Wow, wow, wow. Fakesmix says he's so jealous of my 17 degrees. Fakesmix, I do not envy your -3 degrees at all. I do not envy you. Now, when in Jamaica, it's tropical, it's warm, it's warm almost all the time. I'm from Portmore. Big up Portmore people. Yes, big up Portmore people and those joining from Portmore Holiness Christian Church. Big up on yourself. God bless you guys. And Portmore is the sunshine city, and it is usually quite warm. Quite warm. We would say hot. Quite warm. And when I came to Japan and experienced 25 degrees for the first time, no, mommy ball. No, man, it was too cold, man. It was too cold. 25 degrees. And no, anything with double digits for me, 10 degrees and up is I'm able to I'm able to manage that. Miss Wilson say, whoop, whoop. Yes, man. Ah, Mr. Palmer is here. We have Mr. Palmer joining from Jamaica. Welcome, Mr. Palmer. I see you. Wow, Sashana is also from Portmore. Sashana is joining from Portmore. No, not joining from Portmore. Sashana is from Portmore, like myself, and she's living in Japan now. She has been here for 1 year and change, a little bit over a year. She came just before the pandemic. Wow. Okay. I don't know how people do this live thing and keep up with the chat and actually make whatever presentation that they intended to present. But I will do my best to keep everyone engaged. I don't want anybody to feel left out. I see you all. Yes, ma. Oh my goodness. Rikisha is here. Rikisha is here in Japan, representing Jamaica in Japan as well. I want to thank you, Rikisha, for joining. So once more, welcome to my 5-year anniversary celebration here in Japan. Why am I smiling when I truly, truly want to go back to my yard? But it is God's will that I am still here. And He, in His time, perfect will reveal this mystery. Why am I here? Why am I still here after 5 years? When I planned, as my mother said last night, We are plan and God a erase. My plan was to be here for 4 years and then to go back home. And so let's start. Why did I come to Japan? I came to Japan for the opportunity. I came for a change of scenery, a change of pace from what was going on in my life in Jamaica. And I won't go too much into details with that because that's not what this platform is about. It's about sharing the lessons, and I have many lessons to share. But Fake Speaks has been to Japan many times, but never to Jamaica. Fake Speaks, you need to drop into Jamaica, man. Yes, man, please. And please, of course, keep in touch so I will know when you are taking that visit to Jamaica. So, yes, I came here. Welcome, Sabrina. Welcome, somebody. Somebody says, Sabrina, welcome, welcome, welcome. I came here to Japan 2016 March. Fake Fix wife is Japanese. Never see smoke without fire. And the Fake Fix doesn't understand what that means. One of my Jamaicans, please help him out. Never see smoke without fire. Good evening to you, Sabrina, there in Cayman. If you are just joining, welcome again. I feel like I go on reset every time somebody new joins. I'm learning. If you have any tips for me on doing this YouTube live, please let me know. This is not my usual style. I like to be in person with persons. But in truth, for the past almost year, I have had to be engaging my students online using the Zoom platform. So I've had a little bit of practice, you know, but usually I can see my students. I can't see any of you. So I'm just looking into this little tiny, tiny hole that they call the camera. Wow. Wow. Fake Speak says I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words and thank you for your kind support. Wow. And I hope that everything is going well with you. I know it is late for you, Fake Speaks, but you are still here with me. Um, Instead of going to bed. Much appreciated. Domo arigato gozaimasu. All right. So came to Japan from Jamaica in 2016. I needed a break. I needed a change. For those who know me, you would have known some of the things that were going on in my life, with my family in particular. And so I just needed a change. And God just reminded me of this opportunity to come to Japan, and I made the change. I made the sacrifice. And coming here, one of the first questions everybody always asks is, why Japan? Persons in Jamaica are asking why Japan. Persons in Japan are asking why Japan. And then I am asking, why Japan, Stacy? Why Japan? And the truth is, why Japan is because Japan provided that opportunity to come and to work. There was a clear path to come here and to work. Other countries quite possibly have such programs, but I found that Japan's path was, it was more clear cut. It was something, it was coming to teach English. It was coming to teach English. So you knew the job that you would be coming to do. You knew the job that you would be coming to do. You're coming to teach English. Now, in terms of what teaching English is all about, that's a totally different thing when you come and actually experience what they meant by teaching English. It's teaching English as a second language or teaching English as a foreign language. Totally different from teaching English as a subject. Completely different. Welcome, my friend Dre. Blessed, always supporting. Welcome, supporting, joining from Jamaica again. let me continue. And so I came to Japan to teach English. It was a clearly defined path. A clearly defined path. I knew what I was coming to do. I knew where I'd be going to stay, to live. Everything was going to be worked out. I just needed a whole heap of money. A whole heap of money. 5,000 US according to them. I didn't come here with 5,000 US dollars. I came here with 3,000 about. Plus I had to also pay my own airfare. Yes, I had to buy my own plane ticket to come here. It was a one-way ticket. Fix Fix is asking if I had been a teacher in Jamaica. Teacher in Jamaica. Yes, I was actually a special needs teacher in Jamaica. Great question. I was a special needs teacher in Jamaica for about a year, about a year and some a year and a few months. I was a special needs teacher, trained as a registered behavioral therapist. I know a few of my former colleagues are on the platform with me, so please remind me if I forget anything about that. So yes, fix, but I'm not a licensed teacher, so I did not receive official um, teacher training in Jamaica. But I've always found myself to be teaching, sharing of some sort. So it's something I actually enjoy doing. And there's a little story about that also, because I actually did about 2.5 years of teachers college. I started at the International University of the Caribbean and did 2.5 years of primary education. So maybe some of you didn't know that, but I did start studying to become a trained teacher. My friend Aaron, AM, I have known him. Aaron, remind me how long I have known you. Welcome, Aaron from Trinidad. My friend from Trinidad is here. We worked together with the Jamaica Youth for Christ when I visited Trinidad on an overseas mission, and he has been more faithful in keeping in touch with me than I have with him. So thank you so much. Daniel says, fabulous special ed teacher. Boy, a registered behavior technician as well. Yes. Wow, Aaron from 2009. Aaron, you're getting old, man. Aaron, you're getting old. Wow, since 2009. I have known Aaron since 2009. And there are some persons on this platform that I have known for as long as that time. Thank you all for the support. Okay, thank you all for the support. So I am here in Japan celebrating 5 years. And every time I come off topic to go back on, I forget. So let me go to the notes and stick with them. Thank you so much, Aaron. Aaron says he's proud of me. I really appreciate that. So let me get to my notes why I am really here. Here in Japan, I came for the opportunity. I got the opportunity. I seized the opportunity. It was a costly one. It was one of great sacrifice, but I did it by the grace of God, God alone. And if I really didn't think that I did it by the grace of God, these 5 years have taught me that it has been nothing but God's exceptional grace that has allowed me to be here and be here in my right frame of mind. I know Takao said that I am a very good English teacher. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So I made some notes, and it came to me as I was writing, you know, that to come to Japan, and let me tell you, Japan is a very special place. And I'm going to extend this a little bit to say to travel to a non-English speaking foreign country, especially one in Asia that has been so homogenized, it requires that you be bad. It requires that you be bad. What do I mean by that? Those are going to be the 5 points that I'm going to talk about. You need to be bad to come, to leave your country wherever you are, to leave your home country, to go to a vastly different foreign country requires you to be bad. It requires you to be one, spiritually strong and grounded. Two, so be spiritually strong and grounded. Be emotionally strong and aware. Three, adjust your mindset appropriately. Four, adjust your concept of community. And five, do more of what you really enjoy. Those are my 5 lessons that I will be sharing on today. 5 lessons, let me say them again. The first B is be spiritually strong and grounded. The next B, be emotionally strong and aware. A, adjust your mindset appropriately. A, adjust your concept of community. And the 5th lesson is to do more of what you really enjoy. Now, let me take each of these points that I have. Each point, let me take each point. Coming to Japan from a predominantly Christian nation, or one whose principles and laws are predominantly grounded in the teachings of faith, to a country that acknowledges itself as non-religious or Buddhist or practices Shintoism, requires you to be spiritually strong and grounded. And I would want to believe that I have been a spiritually strong and grounded person. Not perfect, don't get them mixed up. And so when I came here to Japan from Jamaica, a place where I am always quite engaged in my church community, always ministering, fellowshipping, you know, almost every day of the week, there was an activity at church to be a part of. And then I came to Japan where I had no church, didn't speak in any Japanese. And that's the other thing. The country speaks Japanese. So the first church that I went to for 1 year was a completely Japanese church. They only spoke Japanese. They only spoke Japanese. 1 year, first year, went to church, only Japanese. It was very imperative for me to find a church because I strongly believe in the word of God. It says, do not forsake the assembling of the brethren. And so I was not about to forsake the assembling, the gathering together of other faith believers, even if it was in a language that I didn't understand. And brethren, believe me, this girl did not understand. Week after week after week for 1 year, I understood that they were Christians because the Holy Spirit Himself testified that yes, this church, Bedea so, Bedea so. The Holy Spirit testified that he was at that church. So it was okay for me to stay there. And I stayed for 1 year. They were warm, they were receptive, and they tried to facilitate me, only foreigner, only black foreigner or person of color, to be politically correct, person of color, in this very small Japanese church. Wow. Felix says that must have been very interesting for both sides. I can imagine so, because they are seeing me. I don't know how often or what their experience has been or had been with foreigners before they saw me, this very beautifully chocolatified person. But they welcomed me. They welcomed me. They welcomed me. And that is why I stayed. I stayed for 1 year in that church because they were so warm and receptive. After a few weeks had passed, they would sing from hymnals. Everything is in Japanese. After a few weeks passed, what they did for me was to put the characters, and that is the Japanese language. The Japanese language has characters, hiragana, katakana, and kanji, right? And I'm going to jump on my keyboard very quickly to show you what some of their language. So I'm going to say hello. Oh, it doesn't work on my. I was trying to say hello in Japanese here. There it is. So that is konnichiwa, and that is hello in Japanese. So that's those letters, those characters that I've written, those are hiragana characters. Japan has 3 writing systems: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. The most difficult one, very, very, very difficult, which I've not studied at all. So what the church did for me, they put the characters, the Japanese characters, in Romanized letters. So that's the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. They tried their best. They put the Our Father prayer. It wasn't in English. So I'm not saying Our Father who art in heaven. I'm saying the Japanese version, but I'm reading the English letters, if that makes sense, the Romanized letters. So what I have put in the chat, konnichiwa, if I put it in alphabet letters, this is what it would look like. O, ni, chi, wa. So that's the Romanized letters. And so I would go, they had like a little pattern. You say the Our Father prayer, and then you say something. I know there are some churches in Jamaica that say it, that talk about the Holy Spirit, God the Father, God the Holy Spirit, and God the Son. You know, that thing that they do every Sunday, but I can't remember what it is. But I still have it. And so the feeding of my spirit depended completely and solely on my devotions in the mornings. Because when I went to church, me not understand nothing. Then they sung hymnals. They started to put those also. They gave me a hymnal that after a while I could read hiragana, but they were trying to help me to sing along, so they put the songs in Romaji, same Romanized letters. So they did that for me. They went out of their way to do that for me. And at first, my name on the register, because they took a register, my name was handwritten. After a few weeks, it was typed. So I became part of their family. And that really helped me in the first year. And I don't know if my friend Takao is still online, because he will come under the next point of being emotionally strong. So I had to be spiritually strong and grounded. I had to turn up the devotions. I had to increase my prayer time with God. And of course, I'm still experiencing culture shock. Everything different. Everything is different. The food, the music, the language, the colors, everything is different. Japan is not a loud society. The colors are very, let's just say, pastel. So I had to, I had to be very, very strong. And yes, Sabrina, I do agree that what they did was wonderful, so wonderful that I have not forgotten them. I try to visit them even after moving from that city. I try to visit them at least once a year, and they are always so excited to see me, always. And I can communicate with the pastor anytime, and he sends me birthday postcards, you know. So that was a good experience of being spiritually strong and grounded. Because the chances are, if you come to Japan, Japan specifically, I can't speak for China, their setup is a little different. I do have a few friends in China. But if you come to Japan to teach English, chances are they're going to put you in a country area, Bakabush area, a remote area where mostly old people live, rural area, what we call inaka. So it was good for me to have that personal relationship with Jesus Christ. I had spoken with a few persons, because everything kind of becomes online where you're trying to engage with people online. And I learned that persons, they came here, and they lost their way because of how Japan is, you know, you're not going to hear bad word and you're not going to hear them things here. They are, what's the word? They if you they seem to be a society of high morals, right? They are very careful in the things that they do, and so it almost feels as if they do some things that Christians do. And so a number of persons I spoke to, they said that why are they being Christians? Like it didn't seem important anymore for them to be Christians, because of their experience here in Japan. And I was like, wow, 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 wow. It's not enough to be good, for it is by grace and grace alone that we are saved through faith. It is a gift from God, not of works. There's no amount of goodness that we can do to be saved by God. No amount of goodness. And Japan prides itself on doing good things. People generally do good things. All right, as if Felix says that yes, they really wanted to include me at the church, and I really appreciated it. Really, really appreciated it. And he says when he was in Japan, for 1 week, he was in Kagawa. Kagawa. I've heard Kagawa before. I've never been there. Right? So I visited the Japanese church. Like I said, most of my nourishment, of course, they use the Bible. They use the Bible, the Holy Bible. So I would find out from the program where they would be reading, and I would read my English Bible while the pastor preached from the Japanese, and so on. So I always knew what he was preaching about, where his scripture was based. I always knew that. And that is what I did. After a while, I started to pick up a few words here and there, you know. Um, yes, so let me move on to my second lesson. So the first lesson that I realized is that I needed to be spiritually strong and grounded. And I'm telling you this, if you plan to come to Japan, you must be spiritually strong and grounded, because churches here are not like what we are used to back in Jamaica, or if you are in another country that is Caribbean, like Trinidad, like Iran, or if you're in Cayman and you're going to church there, that's a vastly, that's all Caribbean. Our style is very different. In Japan, it is like very somber if you go to a Japanese church. So after a year, and I did move, I decided, yes, 1 year, I went to a Japanese church for 1 whole year, but I don't want to have that experience again in a completely Japanese church where I can't fully understand the message. So I decided to search for an English speaking church. I moved, I moved from that remote countryside, what we say inaka in Japanese, and Fakesbix is telling me that Kagawa, there are no foreigners or gaijin. So when you see that word gaijin, it means foreigner. There were no foreigners in Kagawa where he was. Wow, can you imagine? So I decided I had to find an English speaking church. So I checked good old Google. Everybody checks Google, right? So I found a church. I found an English speaking church. When I went, I visited one. I didn't feel welcomed. I didn't feel warm. Um, it was it was uh, a British church. You could hear the accents, the British accents, the pastors, the leaders, and the members seemed predominantly of British descent, and a few Japanese scattered here and there, of course. I pop out, I stand out. I'm the only person of color of African descent there, and it is it is a story of many individuals here in Japan. Maybe Sashana, I don't know if she's still listening. Sashana can probably tell you about her experience in Kobe. I think Kobe has a lot more of a mix. So, as I said before, Japan is very homogeneous, very few foreigners here, even fewer persons of color, and even fewer persons from the Caribbean. So, so I stand out pretty much wherever I go. So I didn't feel very welcomed at that first church that I went to. Even though they spoke English, they had music, they had drums. Oh my God, they had drums. The first Japanese church, they only had organs, grand piano, beautiful sounds. And I enjoyed singing hymns, and I learned some hymns, and I sang some familiar hymns, but in Japanese. Sashana says there are a lot of churches in Kobe, so there's a lot of diversity. Yes, I've been to Kobe, and Kobe is beautiful. I would actually live in Kobe. I've thought about it. Um, Lots more diversity in Kobe, and lots of churches, Christian churches, because there are a lot of Catholic churches here as well. And they, of course, wherever in the world there are Jehovah's Witnesses, and there are Latter-day Saints persons as well, which I did meet when I was in my first city, Takahama. I met them in Korea with Takao. I'm not sure if he's still listening, right? So after that church that seemed predominantly British, yes, Seventh-day Adventists are also a plenty here in Japan. After that British feeling church, the following week I found another church, and when I went there, it was very American. The pastors were from America, um, but this time this church was bilingual. I think the British one was also bilingual, so the church was bilingual. It was bilingual, and um, I felt welcomed. It was a different atmosphere. The space felt different. There were drums and um, worship team and all that. Same at the British church. But I felt welcomed. I was acknowledged as a new person at the UK church, even though it was smaller. There was just no acknowledgement of new persons. So I was acknowledged as a new person, and so on. And I stayed at that church for 3 years. And recently, just last year, I decided to change churches. I won't get into that because already I am I am it's been 42 minutes since the official live started and I'm still on the first point. Oh my gosh, I feel like one of those preachers who, who talk too much. Um Facebook says, how do I feel about Shintoism? Um I don't know that much about the religion, but of course, from what I do know, they do not acknowledge one God. And anything that does not acknowledge the one and true living God Almighty that I serve, um, there's no room to consider, no consideration for any religion that is worshiping other gods, worshiping ancestors, worshiping people that have died who were famous. So I hope that answers you, Fakes Vix. So I am not particular about Shintoism or Buddhism or any other religion, Hinduism, any other religion that does not acknowledge God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, right? The triune God, the maker of heaven and earth, right? So anything else outside of that, I'm really not for. So thank you so much for your question, Fix Vix. Thank you so much. My second point in the bad, you have to be bad. And that's a really bad acronym that I came up with. But it just came to me, you know. But I mean, it's like you really have to want something and go for it, you know. You really have to, that is how much you have to really prepare yourself to come to Japan. For those who think that, oh, just come and teach English. No, you're uprooting your life. You're uprooting your life. You're leaving your family and you're traveling to a place that takes 2 days to get to. 2 days. Unless you are very rich. And if you're very rich, you're not going to come to Japan. Right? It takes 2 days to get here. Right? Because of the connecting flights and the overlays. Overlays, layovers. People, I have been forgetting my English as well. So I need to come back on my yard. Yeah. Right. So the second point is that you have to be emotionally strong. In the first couple of months, even the first year, you don't really understand the need to be emotionally strong. But after that first year, when you have found yourself in a pattern and in a way of doing things. As a matter of fact, after 6 months, I was tired of my job. I was teaching elementary school students. I was tired of the environment. I felt I felt like I was becoming an earhead because of what I was teaching. The level I was teaching children from ages 7 to 12, and it was tantamount to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, colors, all the basic vocabulary that you would need, basic sentence constructions, very, very basic, colors, shapes, your birthday, months of the year, days of the week. By the 6th month of being here in Japan, I was just like, wow, I can't do this anymore. I can't teach this level anymore. So when I moved, so the emotional side of me started to be affected. And I'm going to link the emotional with the mental, right? It started to be affected, but it still wasn't too bad. Because in that first year, a lot of learning. I met Takao, a very dear Japanese friend, who I met at the international Society of Friends, where I went to learn Japanese and I participated in dancing with Takao as we represented the Indian country. So, yes, I have that video up on my channel. So, please, if you want to see me dancing with Takao, doing Indian dance, you have to go and check out that video. So, yeah, so that first year was good. I was able to find myself in a little kind of community of familiarity and so on. So that was awesome, you know. So I realized that, okay, Japanese church only, just pure Japanese, you know, the level I was teaching, it was just, it started to affect me. Um, Emotionally, things started to go down. Like after the first year, you know, I didn't travel back to Jamaica until my third year. After 3 years, 3.5 years. That's the first time I went back to Jamaica. But I wanted to go back before. But there was a lot going on back home with my family. And I thought it was more important to try and take care of things from Jamaica there instead of using that money to travel home. Sashana says it took her all of 2 years to make the decision to move to Japan. She had to prepare herself mentally to leave home, for it was the first time in her life to leave home. Wow, Sashana. Wow, wow. So I have not mentioned my age, which I have no problem mentioning. I am 39 years young. I'm 39 years old. So I came here not as a typical person coming from university. Most persons who come here are in their mid 20s, a few in their early 20s, usually 30s and later, not so common. So I came here pretty mature. Pretty mature. I came here pretty mature. It was not my first time traveling. It was not, but it is definitely my first time living in a foreign country. The longest I've ever visited any country was 5 months, and that was America. And when Jamaicans talk about foreign, that is about as foreign as it gets. America. Oh, yeah, got foreign. America. Nobody thinks about traveling to Asia, Japan, and so on, right? Yes, Daniel, I am 39 years young. Oh my gosh. I had a friend ask me recently, Stacy, you turned 40 yet? And I'm like, "F- what? What? Four? Four? Not gonna think about that now." Yes, Sashan, I think the maturity is what has helped me. It didn't spare me though. It didn't spare me from being emotionally scarred, right? So the second point, you have to be emotionally strong and aware. Know yourself. Sashana took the time to prepare herself to come to Japan. She took 2 whole years to prepare herself. You better know yourself, know who you are, know who you are, know who you are. As a person of faith, that was very important to me and very helpful, right? Know where your emotions are, right? Personally, I'm a very emotional person. Daniel can probably attest to that. I'm a very emotional person. She probably thinks she's more emotional than me. But the truth is, I just probably cover it up better because I'm always smiling. Yeah. I wear this smile. This smile has been a blessing. I wear this smile. Checking my notes here. So, know the state of your emotions, know what triggers your emotions, and how do you normally respond when your emotions are triggered, right? Because it will affect how you respond to things in this new environment, right? Another thing that I had to learn and still continue to learn, but I'm so much better now, is not to take things too personally, right? And it will lead me to my next point of adjusting your mindset, right? Don't take things too personally when you come here, because one, Japanese people are not familiar with foreigners, especially in the rural areas. There are not a lot of them, a significant amount of them are not familiar with foreigners. As a foreigner, as a Jamaican coming from as a Jamaican coming from Jamaica, I was we are familiar with foreigners because of our history. We are familiar, especially with Chinese. So seeing Asians is not new for us, of course. Trying to distinguish Chinese Koreans, Japanese, Vietnamese, Indonesians, trying to distinguish the different Asian ethnicities is a challenge. But we are not strangers to foreigners once we come from Jamaica. Japanese are strangers to foreign people. They are not so keen on foreign people, especially people of color. All they know is what they get from the media, and what they get from the media is predominantly from America. And that picture that is painted of blacks, of people of color from the American media is not usually the best picture. And so the apprehension and so on, the responses, they may overlook you. They stare. I remember in elementary schools, the kids were touching my skin to see if it would come off. When they saw as a matter of fact, they wanted to know because I always wore pants. They wanted to know if my legs were the same color as my hands and my face. So you have to be emotionally strong. A lot of people took offense. A lot of people take offense. Personally speaking, I have no problem when they touch my hair, especially the kids, small, excited. A lot of people will run away from you, right? The kids, they look in your hand, they ask you, why is here white and here so black? Like, who think got them up there? Have you ever thought about that? If you're a person of color, have you ever thought about why here, according to them, is white and here is black? I've never had to think about those things until I came to Japan, right? So you, if you're not careful, you will take offense to everything. You will take offense, and then because of our history with whites, Europeans, light-skinned people, because of our history, we can be rubbed the wrong way. So you have to be emotionally strong, and you have to know the culture that you're coming into. Know the culture that you're coming into. Many people left Japan after a year because they couldn't deal with it. They couldn't deal with it. They weren't emotionally prepared. Right? Daniel says, me too, that she is emotional. I know, And whoa, Kirk, I didn't see you come on at all. Welcome, Kirk. Jamaicanese. Please, he has a YouTube channel as well. Please go and check out his channel. Give him some support. He's also here in Japan. All right, let me see if I can keep up with you guys in the chat. Daniel says I look younger than her. What? Okay. So Kirk came on, fellow 30s baby who. Thank you, Kirk. Kirk is also admitting to being in his 30s. And he came to Japan in his 30s. So thank you so much for sharing that, Kirk. Sashana says your maturity is probably what helped you a lot. The maturity and the grace of God. Grace of God. Grace of God. Dre. Dre. Eh, Dre, when did you come on? Dre say, almost there, my dear. Dre, I have known Dre. I wonder who I know the longest on this platform. Probably Dre. Unless my mother comes on. I told her, and I don't see her come on all now, but she's not so afraid with the technology. I've known Dre since college. Since college. So that is from 1999. This is awesome. Thank you, Dre. Me almost dead here. Yes, me almost the big 4-0. Facebook says, funny, but Switzerland and Japanese people are very similar. Wow, that's interesting. I hope we can talk some more Facebooks about the similarities of Japanese and Switzerland people. That's interesting to know. All right, Facebook says, I am telling truth. Right? All right, now Kirk says, rural island where he lives on a rural Japanese, even worse. So much exhausting work I have had to do. Boy, Kirk, me and you have to go talk. Me and you have to go do one of them thing here, one of them interview platform things. You know more than me because I see you are quite up with the technology, Kirk. So you have to let us have a chat one day about living in Japan, rural island. He says rural island. That sounds like he's on a smaller island of Japan. But Japan has many small islands that people live on as well, not the mainland. Um, so much exhausting work I have had to do. Sashana, if you don't know something, you just don't know. You can't kill someone for that. So what she's talking about is, about how Japanese people will react to foreigners or react to persons of color. And but that's why I say you have to. The next point, let me just jump on to the next point. You have to adjust your mindset. You have to adjust your mindset when you come to the people them country. You have to adjust your mindset, right? And not everybody is willing to do that. Some people feel say, oh, they want us to come to their country to teach, so they should adjust for us. No, the people them lock off for hundreds and hundreds of years from the rest of the world. They have slowly opened their borders to us. Right, so they are trying to learn them very slow. When let me tell you, Japan very slow when it comes to certain things. Them still use fax machine. As much as them have the technology, yeah, they must still use fax machine and them things here, right? So you have to adjust. You have to adjust yourself, right? And adjust it appropriately. Adjust it appropriately. You have to try and be positive about things, and it's not easy, especially if you have never traveled before, and if Asia is your first place outside of Jamaica, or outside of your Caribbean bubble. You're going to be in for a shock, especially if you end up in a rural area. So you have to adjust yourself, right? And um just to remind you, the acronym of the 5 points I'm talking about is BAD, right? So it is up to us to show them, as Sashana says, to show them another side. She says they always touch her hair. I don't mind. I don't have a problem. As a matter of fact, I often do this. My hair is mostly in twists, so I do this, and they go, oh. And then I show them that, listen, the more I do it, the fatter it gets. And they go, oh, so good. And they are just amazed. They are amazed at our hair. When, listen, I have some mad hairstyle I go on the road there with, and people are like, kakoi, sugoi. Oh, so when they say sugoi, sorry, they are saying, wow, amazing. When they say kakoi, they're saying cool. They're saying my hair is cool. It looks great. They don't know about our hair. They don't know about our culture. So I have become like an encyclopedia. I am teaching people all the time about our culture. And listen, you're black, and that's all they see. Most people, Japanese, they don't know where Jamaica is. So it's always a good game for them. Where's Jamaica? Africa. No, it's not in Africa. It's not in Africa. So it's always a teaching lesson. And I got tired of that after a while. Like in the second year or so, I was tired. I was tired of teaching people about me, teaching people about my culture, because you represent foreigners, you represent black foreigners, you represent Jamaica. Because when them hear say you come from Jamaica, oh, ash, bolto, bolto. And they assume that you can run fast and you can dance if you come from Jamaica. So you have all of these things that you have to adjust your mindset. That's the third point. All right. So much exhausting work. So it's up to us to show them another side. They always touch my hair. I don't have a problem with them touching my hair. Did they touch fakes mix out if they touch my hair? Did they touch your hair? My hair is blonde, and my mother-in-law was fascinated with my hair. So Fakes Mix is married to a Japanese woman. He's from Switzerland. He has blonde hair, and Japanese, they usually have black hair. And so his mother-in-law is fascinated with his blonde, straight hair, and is always touching his hair. Thanks for sharing that. Your hair is like inu, 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 inu. That's a Japanese word you're using, right, Fakes Mix? I can't remember. Um, Lord of mercy, I can't keep up with this chat. Welcome, JJ is in the house. Mr. J is in the house. He also has a YouTube channel. Please go and find him. For those who have channels, you can drop your channel name or link in the chat so persons can go and give you some love and support. Why, Mr. J, late than never. We still upon the third point, the third lesson of adjusting your mentality, right? You have to adjust your mentality. Oh, Kirk. This Kirk is asking if I have spoken about some of the challenges of dealing with other foreigners. Kirk, if I am to get into that, we will be here all day. This live is to celebrate. Let me start. Welcome to 5 years in Japan with Stacy, personally speaking. That's my channel name, Stacy, personally speaking. 5 years, 5 lessons. I'm sharing about 5 lessons. I'm on the third lesson. Let me remind you of what the for what the lessons are. One, be spiritually strong and grounded. Two, be emotionally strong and aware. Three, adjust your mindset appropriately. Four, adjust your concept of community. And five, do more of what you really enjoy. And I came up with the acronym BAD. If you come to Japan, you must really want it bad. You have to want to come here bad. All right. So let me just so to answer you, Kirk, I have not spoken about those challenges. That is going to be for another discussion. Maybe we can do a collaboration on that about dealing with other foreigners. Ooh, being overlooked by other foreigners. A lot. There is a lot. There is a lot. And I have been going for over an hour, right? Sashana says, I do crochet and I'm always making bright colored hats, which I often wear to school. Wow, Sashana, we have to talk. Please link with me. Link with me. I think my email is somewhere on my link me. If you're in the Jamaicans living in Japan group, link me there as T Journeys. I'm T Journeys on Facebook there. I'd love to hear about those colored hats. They love that. I try to infuse a little of Jamaica in most of the things I do. Awesome. Awesome. So we are ambassadors. We are ambassadors for foreigners, Jamaica, and for Black people. We are ambassadors, like it or not. Right? Facebook says, it's not in Africa. Surprised Pikachu face. Just kidding. Fakes mix. I appreciate you. I appreciate. Ah yes, Inu is dog. Oh my good. You know, Fakes mix. If you had typed Inu in Japanese, I probably would have recognized it more. Oh wow, 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 wow. 5. Sorry, I'm late. Tam, never late, never late. As Mr. J said, better late than never. Welcome. Um, Kirk says, thank you for the recap. My way in Japan is go with the flow. You have to be careful, because some of those Christians that came here and they went with the flow have decided the Christian way is not for them anymore. So I'm very careful to guard myself against going with the flow. And as a result of that, I was very careful in my first year not to attend festivals, ceremonies, and all of those things because I didn't know what they were doing, right? Because they have so many gods here in Japan. I didn't want to get caught up in I, idol worship, idolatry. So I just tried to learn as much as I could about the culture. So that is about adjusting your mindset appropriately, right? Adjust your mindset. And it's many little different things, little different things. I I only recently have started to adjust my mindset of living in a first world country. Japan is seen as a first world country, but I was here living with a third world mentality. What do I mean by that? I'll give you a very simple story. In Jamaica, bills are expensive. So a little tip that my mom would do when we were using the washing machine. To do multiple loads. You wash one set, you take it out by hand, you wring it out, and then you put in another set in the same water, and then you'd rinse in the sink. If you had an extra sink or a bucket, you rinse the clothes in that instead of allowing the full cycle of the machine, right? So when I just came to Japan, I was doing the same thing. See my little here. My mindset had not adjusted at all. It never adjusts till like year 3. Never adjust. I was still doing the same thing. I would let it wash and then take out the clothes, put in another load. Thinking about it now, I can't even believe I was doing that. But I still had that mentality that, listen, we are paying for water, we are paying for the electricity. So I didn't want to be wasteful. I've been a very frugal person and I still am. And so I would do that. And then even in the winter time, when the water cold, I would do that. And somebody said to me, and he is here on this platform, I don't know if he remembers, him say, oh, what you do that for? You just make a machine run and go through and do the cycle. And it was after that time, which would have been a couple of years ago, that I finally just started allowing the machine to do the whole cycle, because I was suffering, especially during the winter time with the cold water to take out the clothes and you know so you have to adjust your thinking. It doesn't mean that you should become more wasteful, because I'm still very mindful of conserving. Even though I don't pay for water separately, I'm still very mindful of that. But my mindset wasn't fully adjusted from third world to first world, because I don't like to see things wasted. And I can tell you, Japan wastes things. Maybe not as much as America, but them waste things, right? Just jumping on the chat here, Facebook says, I don't know how to write in Japanese. My wife says I'm just a parrot when it comes to Japanese. Well, guess what? I'm glad that you are actually using using Japanese in whatever way. And let me tell you, I'm very happy Facebook is still here. Must be after 1 a.m. in his country, Switzerland, and he is still here with me. Really appreciate that. Um, Facebook says Japan is cheaper than Switzerland, and guess what? Sashana and others can say we think Japan is very expensive because, and that's another thing about adjusting your mindset. For the first couple of years, well, and I still do, I compare prices in Japan to prices in Jamaica, right? Even though it's kind of an unfair comparison, because living in Japan is 3 times more expensive than cost of living in Jamaica. So I was comparing prices and, fruits and so on, so expensive here in Jamaica, right? Let me try and catch up here. So Rikisha says she used to do the same with the laundry. You see, that adjusting that mindset. And I mean, you have to know where you are and what you can do and deal with and how you need to adjust, right? But it's a lot of things. Sashana said, this is funny. No, Rikisha, you're gonna lead. Rikisha says she bought a bath pan too to bathe. Rikisha has children, so I don't know if it's to bathe the children. I don't know. I don't know if it's to bathe, like when storm come and you want catch up water. We have to adjust our mindset, and you can't adjust until you open up yourself to the diversity, the differences that you are experiencing here in Japan, right? Daniel, who is in Cayman, says, I don't think that will ever change. She still compares prices. Why? Maybe it will never really change. As a matter of fact, I talk to my mom once a week, And I always ask because she goes to the market downtown, and I always ask, so how was this? How was that today? What was the price today? And sometimes she says, why? She tell me the price, and I say, oh, it's almost the same here when I convert it and so on. Oh, Rikisha says she bought the bath pan in her first year, and Rikisha is my senpai. She been here longer than me. I am celebrating 5 years today. Keisha is celebrating enough years, enough more, enough more, enough more. All right. Wow. Okay. Let me just welcome persons again who are joining me. Welcome, welcome. Where have you all been? We have been having a wonderful discussion. Even though I'm doing the talking, you are doing the listening, and you are engaging me in the chat. And I really appreciate that. Here in Japan, it is Sunday, March 21st, and I am celebrating 5 years in Japan by sharing 5 lessons with you. Now, something that is happening now, which I wonder to myself, is it my neighbor hitting on the wall to say I am too loud? I have no idea. I have no idea. So the walls here are very thin, very small. My apartment, if I had really long hands, I probably could just stretch them out and touch the walls. Um, so I keep hearing like a thud thud on the wall. I don't know if it's my neighbor saying I'm too loud. It's Sunday. Sunday is pretty much their only day off. Usually they work quite a lot. Some get Saturday and Sunday, but mostly Sunday. People in Japan are home as their holiday. They call it holiday. They call it holiday. People, they don't use the word weekend. Because when they translate it, they always say holiday. So it's weekend for me, right? But it's their holiday. So I'm trying to be respectful of that. Um, all right. So the 5 lessons I'm talking about, coming to Japan, you have to be bad. You have to really want it bad. As a matter of fact, moving to any foreign country, especially one that is not in the Western hemisphere or part of the West, as we know. When you hear about foreign, you think about the UK, America, Canada. Those are the places that we usually hear about or we think about as foreign when you live in Jamaica. People don't think about Asia, Middle East, and those places. But I've realized if you want to come to places like Asia and the Middle East, I don't know a lot of information about the Middle East, but I'm sure some of this would apply. You have to want it bad. You have to want to come here real bad. And so the point, first lesson, be spiritually strong and grounded. Second lesson, be emotionally strong and aware. Third lesson, adjust your mindset appropriately. And that's the point that I'm on now. And I want to very quickly say, when this adjusting is very, very critical because when people say, oh, they speak English, you are not understanding that the level of English that they speak is not native. It can be very basic. So you are thinking that they should understand or how they respond should be based on how you expect them to respond, and they don't. They don't. And so it might be very frustrating if you are expecting that high level of English interaction. It can be very frustrating. I have a student right now, and when he understands something that I am explaining, he tends to say, yeah, in a very dismissive tone. So I am having to tell him that if he answers like that, it can come across as offensive to other English foreign speakers, foreigners who speak English. It can come across as very offensive. So you have to know how to adjust yourself. You have to know how to adjust your mindset in a lot of situations. And a lot of the time, it is depending on you, on me as the foreigner who is more experienced with the outside world, as opposed to the Japanese individual who has never traveled and has no experience with other foreigners. I have experienced that Japanese who have traveled overseas, who have had interactions with other foreigners over a long period, it is much easier for them to interact with persons. It's after 9 in the morning here, Sunday morning in Japan, and I'm really hoping I'm not disturbing my neighbor, but that knocking on my wall is getting a little annoying. All right, so let me catch up with you guys here in the chat. Wow. Okay. So Daniel says from Cayman, Jamaican in Cayman, she still compares prices. Fakespeak says, of course, payment is also higher in Switzerland. I see. Okay. Adelisa Azareth, always supporting my channel, and I don't know where you're from. Adelisa, please tell me where you're from, and how you found out about my channel. You comment all the time. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Um, Sachana says a lot of things are still expensive. Sachana, we're going to have to talk about that another time. Rent, taxes, etc. In her opinion, but salaries allow you a lot of purchasing power. You can survive. You can survive. Wow. Wow, Rikisha, we have to celebrate Rikisha. Rikisha, 13 years on Thursday the 25th. So now is the time when a lot of people would usually come to Japan, but because of the pandemic, they are not able to come. Lots of cancellations. Japan right now has a travel ban on outsiders who don't already have a residence card or who are not permanent residents. So Rikisha will celebrate 13 years in Japan on March 25th. Just double check that. Yes, because the new school year in Japan starts in April. So the recruiting companies always bring us over in March, right? So, wow, Keisha, we will definitely celebrate. Okay, Fabulous Heather, Adventures of Heather Fabulous, another YouTuber. Please drop on a YouTube link in the chat so people can support you. Welcome, Heather. Thank you. Another big supporter of mine. She was sleeping. She said it is more expensive to live here, but we are able to afford it. It is 3 times more expensive to live here in Japan. Hence, many of us aren't thinking of going back to Jamaica to live. Many of us aren't thinking of going back to Jamaica to live if we can help it. But the truth is, we really want to go back like myself. I plan to come and stay for 4 years. Now I'm celebrating 5 years in Japan. So, yeah, we know how the economy is. Big city, tiny apartment life. That's right, Kirk. That is so right. And I have done countless apartment tours. You get to see inside my little box. The thing said Portmore did have matches box. One of the things said Portmore quad was matches box. Let me check out the matches box here, but it's very common here in Japan. Fake mix. I don't know about Japan, but most people in Switzerland make 4,000 US dollars as minimum. Fake mix, is that per month? But I know you said it's more expensive to live in Switzerland. Wow, 4,000 US per month. Wow. So when Swiss go abroad, it's always cheaper for us. I know what you mean. When I go back to Jamaica, things are cheaper. Okay, but it's only applicable if you're earning in another currency, right? Right. Okay, Kirk, Jamaicanese. Like how Jamaicans say hush when consoling someone. I didn't understand how offensive it is to non-Jamaicans. Wow, I didn't know that at all. I have not had that experience telling a non-Jamaican hush because me know before me can tell them hush, I have to explain what hush means. Maybe they think you're trying to silence them in that regard. Facebook says, I met my wife in South Carolina. I was wondering how you guys met. Thanks for sharing that with us. Okay, Adelisa Azareth says, I'm in the USA. Welcome. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Keisha Senpai. Yes, man. Know yourself, Know yourself, correct Jamaicanese. Are you thinking about moving back to Jamaica now that you've celebrated 5 years? Adelisa asks. No, actually, my plan is to extend for another 2 years. I see my another why, Dre, you get competition. Another fellow college mate has jumped on the live. Big up yourself, Bobby. Big up yourself. Wow, I tell you, I guess that means a dollar is a dollar wherever you go. So I never know Bobby was already on here. Bobby was already on here. Welcome to those who have spent the time on that Saturday, this Saturday evening. That Saturday evening. See, yesterday was Saturday for me, but it's still Saturday for you. It's Saturday for you in Jamaica, in Trinidad, in Cayman, in the US, and it is Sunday for Fakes Mix in Switzerland, and it is Sunday for me here. But Fakes Mix is up way past him bedtime. It is after 1 a.m. After 1 a.m. Of course, you know Bobby. Of course, you know Bobby from hostel days. Of course, big up on itself. Big up on itself. All right, Fakes Mix. Well, I could have said 3,500 Swiss franc. Ah, thank you so much for explaining. So we would not have understood what Swiss franc meant. So you quoted in US. Really appreciate that. It's how thoughtful. He has adjusted his mindset because he knows this platform has a is diverse, has a wide diverse of people. And so he knows that the US currency is a common one that we all benchmark and can appreciate. Yes, that time gap, Bobby. Mr. J said only picnic can touch him here. It's usually only children that ask to touch my hair. Mostly. A few of my teachers have asked to touch my hair, and I did allow them because I said, kind of need a here and there to me, especially when I did my tour. I did the Punky Brewster. Of course, Punky Brewster didn't mean anything to them. So they kept calling me Mickey Mouse. And I said, no, not Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. And I did it just for them to see my hair. And they were asking me if it was real. And they touched Sugoi. And then I showed them that even though it puffy like that, and I draw out one part and it go long. Oh, big Krishna. Surprise, 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 surprise. All right. So let us move on to the next point. I see some people messaging me on WhatsApp. Saturday, so looking forward for Sunday. The live is on. Remind somebody that the live is on. The live is on. So please jump on board. Click the link. Come on board. Share with a friend. So I don't usually do that, but share with a friend. But if you know somebody who would benefit from hearing these 5 lessons that I'm sharing, let them know. Let them know. Let them know. Let them know. Right? So, why can't I see the video? It's live. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to do this thing. All right. So I was on the wow. Now I see why persons have to get somebody else to help them with the live streaming and all of these things. It's difficult to do everything at the same time, right? So the third point was adjust your mindset appropriately. I'm going to go to the next A in my bad lessons. The next A is to adjust your concept of community. All right, it's saying video not available. What does that mean? Anybody who, I have no idea. Anybody in the live here can tell me why persons are not able to join the live? It's saying video is not available to them. No idea. No idea. How that, I have no idea. No idea why. No idea whatsoever. But I'm really just so grateful for the support. It's the first time I'm doing something like this. and it has been going well. Is the video maybe blocked in their region? No, they are in Jamaica. They are in Jamaica. So I have no idea. And I know I have people here. If video not available, close and open, then refresh. Let me tell them to close and open and refresh. Close, open, refresh. Close, open, refresh. Same thing I'm gonna tell everybody. Same thing I'm gonna tell everybody. Jamaica, but I bet say a floor. Kirk, no name calling, no name calling, no name calling right now. No name calling. I only have YouTube on the go. Ah, ah, the person says they only have YouTube on the go. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like some flow issue. Mm. All right, or tell them to click on the video by going to your channel. Okay. I don't want to not be engaging you guys, and I don't want persons to miss out on what is going on. Of course, I know some persons are joining on their phones. Um, yes, so I wanted to go to the fourth point, right? To the fourth point. Only Pitney can touch my hair and mothers-in-law. Wow, Adelisa Azareth says, ha, 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 I still have to convince people in the US my afro hair is real. Wow. So Adelisa, are you originally from the US? Your name is beautiful, by the way. So please tell me, well, in the US, nobody wanted to touch my hair, only in Japan. It says nobody wanted to touch his hair in the US. Dude, there are so many blood. Let me tell you, in America, there's a lot of diversity. So chances are they don't want to touch your hair. They want to touch your hair. Um. Okay. So all right. So we're trying to find out. So no problem here. Stream quality is very good at Fake Speaks in Switzerland. Myself, I have no clue. Maybe they are on a using a device or something that does not allow them. Jamaica better flow, Kirk. All right, I'll tell them to click on the video. Woo! Check the location. Some locations may have restrictions. That's what Bobby is saying. Um, are they on data or Wi-Fi? What the data? Even that, people. In Jamaica, you buy a credit, you top up and thing. Of course, we did have postpaid services, but how many persons could actually afford postpaid services? It was recently that Jamaica brought in data plans. And now you can buy a plan and top up somebody with a plan and so on. Here in Japan, I don't have that. I just pay a monthly bill, and I had to adjust that mindset as well, because no longer am I scraping off anything or topping up, going to the store to get top up and same thing. So one of my lessons is adjusting my mindset, adjusting it rightly in the situation. Okay, same thing. That means limited connections. Okay, thank you, Bobby. Maybe that is the reason. Adelisa Azareth says, ha ha, LOL. No, I'm originally West African, Francophone. Francophone. Am I saying it correctly? I hope so. Wow, I have no idea where that is. I'm looking on the map, but can't see it from so far. Why can't I support your channel? What do you mean, fake mix? No, listen, man, this is all new for me. So, what do you mean by why can't I support your channel? No idea. Let me know what you mean, fake mix, as I go to the next point. As I go to the next point, and as I said, welcome to my channel. I do not promote ads. I hate them with a passion. Um, so I also will not say like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click the notification bell. Da, da, da. I don't know. I can't. If somebody likes something, they will share it. If the content is good, it will be shared. That is my take on it. So let me continue. It's almost been 2 hours since I've been on here, an hour and a half with you guys on this live. Thank you so much. A quick recap of the 5 lessons that I'm sharing as I celebrate 5 years here in Japan. Stacy, why are you there so long? I am being spiritually strong and grounded. Be emotionally strong and aware. Adjust your mindset appropriately. Point 4, adjust your concept of community. And the last one, do more of what you really enjoy. Now I'm going to go to point 4, adjust your concept of community. No, you can't go beg your neighbor for no sugar or for give you one lime or for give you a little salt. God bless if I know my neighbors. If I see them, worse now with the mask wearing, if I see them, I don't know it's them. Apart from the fact that, Japanese tend to look very similar, like how they think most black people look very similar. I went to a supermarket and a little girl, she saw me. Of course, I'm wearing my mask. She saw me and she was like, Nani Nani Sensei, which means teacher. And her mother looked at her and looked at me, and I communicated to them in Japanese that no, I am not her teacher, but hi. And I was waving, and the little girl reached her hand. She wanted to touch. She wanted to give me a high five. And I'm like, this told me that the teacher that she has already made a connection with this child, with this student, and she is not afraid. A lot of the little children, them afraid when them see black people, you know. So this idea of community is very different. When you have become the minority, you have to adjust your concept. You come from Jamaica, where neighbor and neighbor, wagwan, morning, this, that. Mind you, I do say good morning to my neighbors, but that's about as far as it goes when I see them. I give the greeting, but that's about as far as it goes when I see them, right? So, and even though I've been living in this apartment for 3.5 years, the neighbors on the apartment block usually change every year. But like I said, I don't know who they are. I don't see them because it has this kind of the doors. Once you enter, you can't see anybody kind of thing. And I really don't like this. Um, of course, my neighbors who are in houses, I tend to see them. They're washing their car, they're getting the newspaper. I will say good morning, they will greet me, and so on. But that's about it. Nobody feels say you go smell the people in pot and invite yourself to dinner. None of that. None of that. Right? No. Adjusting your concept of community has for me meant that maybe your community is going to be online. We can't deal with this online thing, So me I talk to no. Like me I talk to myself, but I only me I talk to. This idea of community, your mind has to adjust because chances are one, even if you're in a city, you're not near to anybody from Jamaica or somebody with whom you will have some kind of connection. And of course, even that, of course, in Jamaica, it's not everybody that you are going to link up with because you still have your personality, you still have your values and morals, and you still look for people with similar traits to hang out with. So can you imagine having that big community in Jamaica and then you come here when non Jamaicans, there are hardly any Jamaicans here, even though we know at least probably 800 Jamaicans are here scattered all across Jamaica, scattered all across Japan of over 100 million people. So you can imagine. So this idea of community, I've had to adjust my mindset. Before I came to Japan, I actually created a Facebook group because I searched, I didn't find a group for Jamaicans living in Japan. So I created one. Today it has over 400 members, right? It has over 400 members because I love community. Community is very important to me. And My experience having been here, I want to share with persons to help them to prepare as best as they can, to help them to adjust. And the group is not perfect. It wasn't an intention to, have something so large. But the idea of community, people see it as a community space, a community of Jamaicans where we can talk and share about our experiences, encourage each other, remind each other of what it is to be Jamaican. And I really just want to thank a lot of persons who make the Jamaicans living in Japan group what it is. It is a community where people can talk and know that we understand what they must say. They can talk in a patois, English, they can use idioms, we know what they are talking about. And that is something that you have to adjust as well. When you talk, people don't necessarily know what you mean. You have to break it down to very simple, simple English. So be sure to adjust your concept of community if you want to live in a foreign country where there's a very small number of foreigners. There's even a smaller number of people of African descent and an even smaller number of Jamaicans. It's not going to be what you are used to, right? You're not going to find that community, just around the corner. Even though when we say that in Jamaica, just around the corner, man, you are going for a very, 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 very long time. You will eventually reach the corner, but here in Japan, you have to make up your mind if you really want to link with somebody that you have made a connection with. You have to make up your mind to travel for hours to another, what we call prefecture. Another prefecture would be like another county in Jamaica. Who remembers the names of the counties in Jamaica? Cornwall, Middlesex, and we're not telling the last one. I'll put it in the chat. Right? So where did all these? Okay, yes. I think francophone means French speaking. Thank you, Felix Vix. Thank you so much. Um, so yeah, you have to be willing. You have to be willing. Can you imagine somebody that I want to hang out with, that I enjoy hanging out with? I have to travel over an hour to go and see them by train. You have to travel, and we're in the same city. The same city. So the idea, the concept of community, you have to adjust your thinking, right? Coronavirus has made things vastly worse. Some might say better, worse, but in terms of being able to socialize freely, coronavirus has made it very, very bad, and not in a good way, but maybe in a good way in some regards. But we have had to be learning now this little community that we already are trying to build in person. Now you have to try and keep it alive on a platform, on Zoom, on Skype, or all these other things, right? And it has been a really, it has been a ride learning about community, adjusting your idea of community, right? When I have no church where I keep something every day anymore, I don't have that, right? I don't have that, right? And even wanting to be a part of the activities of my church, Portmore Holiness Christian Church in Jamaica, the 14-hour time difference. See what I did? This is the time in Jamaica and in the time in Japan. They're working hours for me because of the 14-hour difference. It's usually in the morning of the weekday for me. So I can't, there's this kind of ostracized feeling that crept up and can creep up on you if you are not careful. Um, right? But I'm just talking about the lessons today. I have a number of videos that have talked about, many different things and my experiences here. Let me just jump into the chat talking about my fourth lesson here. about adjusting my idea and my concept of community. Let me see what you guys are saying. Mr. J say, and we know one day all day. So when we reach 14 years, what me supposed to do? 14 years. So Mr. J, are you at the senpai? Wow. Right. Facebook, most YouTuber monetize the chat. So you can donate in the chat through YouTube. My channel is not monetized. That's the first thing. My channel is not monetized. And it's not monetized because I don't have 1,000 subscribers or something like that. Like you have to have 1,000 subscribers and have 4,000 hours of watch time or something like that. And it's not monetized because I think in order to monetize your channel, you have to allow ads. And like I said, I hate ads. I'm sorry, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all when I'm watching and I'm watching a channel and then there's an ad that pops up in it. That's a pet peeve for me. And as a result, I will not add that to my channel. Maybe what I need to consider um, is an alternative way of support, like a GoFundMe or a Patreon. I see people use Patreon, but I don't have a clue about those things. But maybe I'll look into something like that for later on for those who would want to support the channel. But if being able to monetize the chat means having ads on my channel, it's not going to happen. It might seem very foolish, but right now, my mind has not adjusted to that. I don't like it for myself. I don't like it for other people. If you're watching something, I want you to watch the content. Time is valuable. I don't want you to get ads being thrown at you that you don't ask for, and then they want you to pay to take away the ads. No, man, I don't think that is right at all. So thank you so much, Fakes Mix. Adelisa says, are you still thinking about moving apartments? You know, Adelisa is watching me and following my channel. Yes, I'm still thinking of moving apartments. Roll with Pat. Yes, another YouTuber, Roll with Pat. Remember, YouTubers, drop a link to your channel so we can also support your channel. Roll with Pat, not with. Roll with Pat is another YouTuber, a fellow YouTuber. Please jump over to her channel. She has some nice content showing you vlogs. People, I have a whole heap of ideas, a whole heap of pictures and videos and things, but the time, it takes time to do this thing, especially with editing. So I have things in store for you. See, that's the same in Switzerland. You have to greet them, but you don't take part in their life. So Facebook is talking about the whole community, the idea of community. You greet them, but you don't take part. You're not a part of what is happening in their life. And in Jamaica, it's a little different. We greet people, like even at the bus stop. I remember greeting Japanese people at the train station, and I could see the expression on their faces. I could see the expression on their faces, like, what? What? They answered, but I could see the expressions, right? So adjusting your idea of community. I remember I greeted an old person one time, and the person was so shocked. And we were just walking on the street, and I said, Konnichiwa. From that, I am very careful to greet elderly people because I don't want anything to happen to them. Man, it scared me so much. It scared me, really, really scared me. Mr. J, yes, mercy. Oh, yes, roll with Pat. Sorry, Cornwall, Middlesex, and sorry. So when I want to visit somebody, I have to visit like I am going to another region. Oh, call Cornwall, Middlesex, and sorry again. I don't even remember. So if I want to visit Mr. J, I have to go to Cornwall to visit him. Me there, you're not sorry. I'm going to go visit him in a Cornwall to show you how far people are. Yes, expound upon the third world mindset in a first world country. Mr. J, this live is already too long. We have to do this. We have to do this again. Going to definitely try and look into doing more lives. Wow, it's Quite an engaging experience. Jamaica is quite the opposite of Swiss. Sorry. Yeah. Welcome, Rochelle. Welcome again, you people on the chat. Welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy Saturday evening to join me here. And Sunday, if you're in Japan or if you're in Switzerland, like Fakes Mix, who is still on here, even though it is almost 2 a.m. in Switzerland. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, I'm trying to, sorry, county. County. Sorry. So wait, how Adelisa is from Francophone. Francophone. Am I saying that correctly? Francophone. How is she know about sorry? How is she know about sorry? Wow, thanks. That idea of community Jamaicans do take for granted as the norm of the world. Not normal at all, Bobby. Not normal at all. So, Sashana, credit goes to you. Sashana at Fix Mix, no worries. Oh, because Sashana got the answer right? Yes. The prize goes to Sashana. All right, let me just try and catch up with you guys in the chat. Don't worry about ads. Oh boy. I'm not worried, but you see, what I don't want for me, there's this saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's a saying, but it's a teaching of the Bible. It is a teaching of the Bible. What I would not want for myself, I don't want for others. I don't know. No Fake Mix has me thinking about don't worry about the ads. I don't like the ads. I don't like them for myself. I don't want them for others, but I will definitely try and look into some alternatives of support for the channel. Roll with Pat said, thanks for the shout out. Roll with Pat says, I was thinking about this lack of community the other day. There's no community in your own community. Whereas back home, you have interaction with your neighbors. Yes, Roll with Pat taught the things them. Roll with Pat, how long have you been here in Japan? Please let us know if you're here in Japan. How long have you been here? Sashana has been here for just over a year. Mr. J, our senpai, has been here 14 years. Rikisha, 13 years here in Japan. I continue to learn from them as well. Mr. J said, nobody get sidetracked on the holiday. Well, I'm not even know what Mr. J talk about. What you talk about, Mr. J? Talk to me, man. Talk to me. Google, ha ha ha. Fakes Mix wanted to go to bed 2 hours ago, but I just like you. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Thank you so much, Fakes Mix. Really appreciate your continued support. Roll it pop me, just check out your channel and say things are going on in the community. Google Sensei never fails. Sashana says Google Sensei. Suppose Google start charge me. Wow. Thanks at Kirk soon. Check your man. Kirk is also a Jamaican YouTuber, Jamaican. It's so hard to say that Jamaicanese thing. So hard. Roll pot. I've been in Japan 10 years, roll pot. I may just know about you. What you said to me? Come on, roll pot. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. All right. I do find ads annoying too, Adelisa says. But I usually watch them for YouTubers who have them in their videos in order to support. Mr. J, knock it back. Remember, Mr. J is also a YouTuber. Show him some love. This is Roll with Pat saying, I've lived in Miyagi, Fukushima, and now in Kanagawa. Why? Roll with Pat, yeah, travel man, roll with Pat. I hope you weren't in Fukushima with the nuclear thing, Thank God you're not there again, because things are going. Daniel is still here showing me some love. Kirk is in Japan, Jamaicanese, just under 4 years. Me green paint from the banana boats. Kirk, when you talk like that, people don't know what you're talking about. Kirk says his green paint from the banana boat is still showing. The banana boat they carry more. What kind of green? The banana them leave one country green and him paint himself green. But by the time the bananas get to another country, the bananas are ripe and he's still painted green. Wow. Wow, Rory Pat says she came a few months after the tsunami in Fukushima. after that nuclear explosion. So welcome again, welcome again. Thank you for joining me on this live that has been going for almost 2 hours now. Stacy talking nonstop, you know. Years ago, during my college years, somebody said I might have missed my calling because they thought I had a kind of radio personality. Now, personally speaking, and this is the channel, Stacy, personally speaking, I'm not too sure if I have that kind of radio presence, but I do try my very best to engage with my supporters. I don't like the word followers. I don't like the word followers. But if you follow me as I follow Christ, because He's the one that guides my life. Yes, roll with for 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. Yeah, man, on laugh off a curb, man, with them green paint. Never get the memo. I should have put one side yellow, the next side green. So when the banana them ripe, you just turn over. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. All right. So I see just before I go to the fifth point, the fifth one, Fakespeak said maybe I and my wife have a chance to meet you next year if you're still in Japan. Yes, man, if I'm still in Japan, the plan is to be here for another 2 years, and that's why I want to move. I want the next 2 years to be in a little bigger space, a little bigger space. If you don't know, I'm also an artist, so I want to be able to paint. Um, and I don't want to have to be throwing down the tarpaulin to cover the carpet to prevent, the paint splashes and those things. So yes, I'm an artist as well. I've started writing a book, and this is leading me right into the fifth lesson. The fifth lesson. Finally reached the fifth lesson. No man, what a girl can't chat. No, sir. The fifth lesson, but let me recap the first four lessons. You have to want it bad, people. You have to want it real bad. This is a little Trini accent. I don't know if my friend Aaron is still on here. We had Trini in the house, Cayman in the house, Jamaica in the house, America, US in the house. We got Japan in the house, of course. And then we also have Switzerland Fakes representing for all the Swiss people here in Japan. I hope I have not called anyone in any offensive way. If I have, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Okay? I'm talking about 5 lessons that I've learned. Of course, I learned whole heap more lessons, but I'm only sticking to 5 lessons that I have learned since being here in Japan, and you have to want it bad. The first lesson: be spiritually strong and grounded. If you're coming to Japan from Jamaica, from your yard, be spiritually strong and grounded. 2, be emotionally strong and aware of yourself, aware of your new environment. 3, adjust your mindset appropriately. 4, adjust your concept of community. That one day lick hard. That one day lick hard. And 5, do more of what you really enjoy. And that's where I am going right now. The fifth lesson for me, when I realized that the community was just not happening. The community that I was trying to cultivate, and if persons who are on the Facebook, Jamaicans living in Japan, know me. I have tried to cultivate that space as a community. People say me kind of strict, but I'm trying to make it a space where everybody can feel comfortable, so, and I'm always, other persons may or may not know, I created other little small groups. Like I created a group to support goals. It didn't last as long as I wanted, but there were persons who joined, and we did start off a thing on WhatsApp. So I'm always about community. But having realized how Japanese, I had to adjust my idea and concept of community. And like I said, a lot of it trying to learn and navigate the online space. And so I found that I had to start doing more of what I really enjoyed. And what I really do enjoy is helping people. I really enjoy helping people. I really enjoy helping people. I really enjoy painting and writing. So I was doing a lot of that. I enjoy gardening, especially growing things that I can eat. That's another major reason why I need a bigger apartment so I can have a balcony space to put my flower pots. Can you imagine me come here and buy dirt? Me buy dirt. I had to adjust my thinking. Yeah, I had to adjust my thinking. You know, have no hillside, no country if you go and dig up no dirt for bring come, no topside. I had to buy dirt, right? So it helps me to do what I enjoy doing. I have my aloe vera, I have me sweet pepper. Them I take time come because it's getting a little warmer now. Me plant some spinach seed, them come up, then dead, then come up, then dead. I don't know. Yesterday I made some kale soup, some kale and spinach soup. The kale came from my little flower pot. Big up my friend who give me the kale plants. Yes. So do more of what you really enjoy. What is it that you really enjoy? You better figure it out when you come here to Japan. Figure it out. Find something that you think you would enjoy doing. For some persons, it's traveling. For persons, they have taken up photography. Persons have started YouTube channel. Persons start businesses. Persons are doing hair. Hello? You have to do your hair yourself mostly when you come here to Japan, especially if you're in the country area. So find what you enjoy doing. People learn to cut them. Men have learned to cut them hair themselves. Yeah, you've had to be very creative here. So do more of what you enjoy. I started a book almost 4 years ago. And then I started studying 2 years, so I stopped writing that book. There are a few persons who may have been privy to the first draft of that book already, including my mother. My mother is like, when are you going to finish the book? So finding things that you enjoy, you will find yourself with a lot more time as opposed to when you were in your home country. You might have a lot more time on your hands. So use it to do things that you really, really enjoy doing. It is just a minute before 10 o'clock, and I'm going to wind down, wrap up, allow persons to ask questions if they want to, right? So I'll end. Take the time to gather yourself as quickly as you can once you come to Japan from wherever you're coming from, so you can make use of your time. Don't allow yourself to get in a lull where you are not doing anything, even though you have these gifts and talents that God has blessed you with. I enjoy doing jigsaw puzzles. That helps to keep my mind occupied, regulated. Yes, something such as regulating your mind. I've taken on doing Sudoku puzzles. It's called Namplay here in Japan. I have quite a few. The higher the number, the more difficult it is. So I have found that I enjoy doing a lot of different things, but I've always been one to use my hands. I enjoy working with my hands, writing, drawing, painting. I have endless amounts of ideas. What idea do you have that you have not yet activated because you're trying to adjust your thinking? You're trying to familiarize yourself with this new culture, this new environment. Don't wait. Do what you really enjoy. And if you get caught in a rut, as I did when I almost lost it last year, don't stay there. Reach out. Reach out to persons. Be careful though of how you reach out because some persons just won't get it. But I have gotten it. I have gotten it. I understand how persons have left Jamaica because of the mental depletion, the mental fatigue. I understand now, but God has strengthened me and allowed me to be here. I remember when I was having that breakdown, I just did a video just talking, just to try to understand where I was. And I never shared that video publicly on YouTube. I shared it by link to a few persons as I was trying to help persons to understand where I was. And then 1 year later, I found myself getting to almost that same place of mental depletion because of this whole COVID thing. And then I caught myself. And I made the video public and I made another video just talking to help myself to understand what is happening mentally. Mental illness is real. It is not talked about here in Japan, scarcely talked about in Jamaica. You know, we make jokes about it, but it's a very real thing. Depression is real and it is not something to be taken lightly or ignored. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It is nothing to be ashamed of. And we need to try and help each other to get this stigma away so we can help to boost each other, right? To boost each other. Okay. Let me go back to the chat here. I see a lot has been happening. Wow, you guys are amazing. Thank you for keeping the chat going. Thank you for keeping the chat. Once more, this is Stacy in Japan, Nagoya. I live in Nagoya City. I have lived in Nagoya City for almost 4 years, um, 3.5 at present. Um, and I enjoy helping people. I just shared 5 lessons from my 5 years, celebrating today 5 years in Japan, and I shared 5 lessons, right? So I'm going to jump back into the chat here to catch up on where you guys were. 2 hours. Roll with Pat said 2 hours. I'm not sure what she is talking about. 2 hours. But I'm sure she will let me know. Facebook says maybe and my wife have a chance to meet you. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Stacy, you have that kind of presence. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Roll with Pat. I am a creative person. I do enjoy acting as well. I was in the pantomime just for 1 year. I was in the pantomime in Jamaica. So I do acting as well. I love singing. I enjoy singing a lot, which I have not been able to do much of since being in Japan, because of just how different things are here and, of course, different songs. Stay hydrated, my dear. Lord of mercy. Thank you, Dre. Mm-mm. This bag of chatting for 2 hours and me not keeping hydrated. Ooh, at Pat, she love chat. Then she disappear for a year because she have to recharge. Or are you talking about Pat? Is that what Pat does? Roll with Pat? Remember these persons who have their own channels. Roll with Pat, Kirk Jamaicanese, Mr. J. Anybody else has a YouTube channel? Let us support them. Sashana says, you have been doing so good though. Makes me wonder if I should make a YouTube channel too. Yes, man, Sashana, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Many persons have done it, and many persons have started channels long after me and have over 1,000 subscribers and they are monetized and so on because that is where they are going. My vision is a little different. My vision is a little different. I really want this channel to help people and help as many people as possible, including my Japanese learners. So you'll see on my channel, I have sections where I read the textbooks from the different schools for them. All right. Yes, man. Make that channel, Sashana. All right. Roll Pot is laughing after Mr. J. Adelisa says, Stacy, I actually started watching your videos more after seeing your planting unboxing videos. I think it was that. Yes, man, the planting, because guess what? Adelisa and me know about planting. We know about planting and we know how easy it is to get planting in Jamaica and from Francophone. And if you buy planting in Japan and no easy thing, it's expensive. It come from must be Peru or one of them countries. Yes, man. Roll with Pat. My plan was to come to Japan for 1 year to make money to pay off my student loan. 1 year turned out to be 10. Roll with Pat, not do that to me. I already passed the 4 year mark. Me want to go back on my yard, but coronavirus has made things even more difficult now. And I have to be wise. I have to be wise also. My idea and my thinking is that what does God want me to do here in Japan in terms of helping to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, to spread the message of God's love here in Japan. So until he provides a way for me to go back, I go steer. Help me, Lord. Kirk Jamaica and Stacy, I think you would thrive in rural Japan, especially your art and spirituality. You really think so? Kirk, you really think would I thrive? Thrive? Me love community. Me love community. So how would I balance them? All right, Kirk, we're going to talk. We're going to talk fake speaks. At Dre, you are correct. She didn't drink anything in the last 2 hours. Lord have mercy. Do not show me up, man. Not show me up. Yes, man. Let me. Yes. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for looking out for me. I really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. Mr. J, I told a Bahamian hush in college. I had to explain the meaning. What you said to me? So Bahamas don't know about the hush. All right. Roll your pot. Who plans to go back to Jamaica? Okay. So again, in the live chat, we have people from Cayman. We have Jamaicans from Cayman and Jamaicans living in Cayman and Jamaicans living in Japan. If you plan, if you plan to go back to Jamaica, you can let roll with Pat know. And I am sure that not I, but Christ. Mr. J say, not I, but Christ. Lord have mercy. I'm sure persons have answered. I'm just trying to catch up with the chat here. Rural part at Kirk, I loved rural Japan. Up north where I lived in Fukushima, there was a level of community there where I lived and worked. I can say that that's the only place I've experienced that. You know, that's a very good point because in my first year in Japan, that was the most community oriented I felt, even though it was in a rural area where I went to church, they just made me feel a part. And we had activities during the week on Saturdays and so on, even though I didn't go because I couldn't understand, like prayer meeting in a Japanese, that is just another level. And I did feel very much at peace. And having left there and gone into a more suburban part of the city, because I live in Moriyama Ward, which is not so city, I don't have that sense of community again. All right, Robert Park, where are you, Stacy? Nagoya? I said, maybe I missed it, but did you share your paintings on YouTube? No, I have not shared my paintings on YouTube. I have another channel, not channel, I have a website for my paintings. So, as a matter, if you check the description box of my videos, there should be a list of my art endeavors. So you can check that. You can check that. You can check that to see my work. So that's another way to support me if you really want to support me. Really want to support me, I have just put a link in here where at Mr. J. I enjoyed reading and writing before I came to Japan. Roll with Pat says, I enjoyed reading and writing before I came to Japan. My writing has been lost since coming here. I write poetry as well. I write poetry. I write, I write, I do a lot of things. And now that I have finished my studies, I will continue those things. I also do portraits. I am never bored. I am never bored. I am never bored. That's something about me. I am never bored because God has blessed me with so many talents. So I can't complain. I can't complain about not having anything to do. So I had to adjust my thinking, take my mind off trying to find this community that didn't exist while I cultivated the community. Cultivate, and it takes a long time to make a community of people that you can feel free to talk with, share with, who won't judge you, and so on. Right? So since I'm cultivating that, I've just started to work on my writings and so on again. Daniel says, enjoy life, remember to love. And yes, Stacy, do what you love. Please turn a blind eye to judgment, given you just might be surprised how happy it will make you. Speaking from experience, Daniel sharing from Cayman her words of wisdom and experience. Sashan at Roll with Pat, I know that feeling. Mr. J at Pat, it's not that I wouldn't, but my big question is, what would I do there after being here in Japan so long? So Mr. J is saying, what would he do in Jamaica after being in Japan for 10 years, for over 10 years? What would he do? I'd rather stop nearby so I can go home easily. I'm right there with you, Mr. J. I'd rather be in another country which is closer to Jamaica so I can go more often. Takes weeks. Why did you stop writing at Roll with Pat? Wow, engage in community. Mr. J, you're not at D yet? Mr. J, you're not at D yet? We can see you maybe location. Tell them to refresh. All right, not sure what that's about. Roll report at Facebook. I'm not sure. Writer's block, I guess. Mr. J. Lord of mercy. Oh, we reach all of them or something here. You're not okay, good. After I finish these comments, guys, I'm gonna end. Too much talking. Um, okay, you're not. You can see you maybe location tell me roll with Pat at Facebook. I'm not sure. Writer's block, I guess. Mr. J. Internet flowed away. Mr. J. Behave yourself. Remember to support these persons. Remember to support these persons with the channels. Danielle Richards, that video helped me a lot. She's probably talking about that video where I was having mental difficulty and trying to understand what was going on. Facebook, I love reading, but I never wrote. Facebook says, I love reading, but I never wrote anything, so I don't know about this. Danielle Richards, it's considered weak. Ah, yes, this idea of admitting your mental state is considered weak. Rowan Pat at Mr. J, I agree. I don't know how I'd fit back into some things. Listen, when I went back to Jamaica after 3.5 years, I had reverse culture shock. Everything was too loud, too bright, too noisy, too crowded, just too. I really, really wanted to come back to Japan. Honestly, why? Wow. Because I'm an introvert. Believe it or not, yes, I am introverted. I am introverted. So it might not appear that way, but I am an emotional introvert. Yes. So Roll with Pat says, I remember when I was there after graduating from university and couldn't get a job. Yes, and plus the economy sucks. This is Roll with Pat telling us about what is going on in Jamaica. Listen, if you're never born in a wealth and riches in Jamaica, it is very hard for you, especially as someone of a darker complexion with curlier hair patterns. Roll with Pat say, I can't go back to that uncertainty. All right, let me lean back a while. I think I've been leaning forward too much. Adelisa says, great life, Stacy. Thank you. Take good care of yourself. Mental health is super important. I will be following your journey. Don't forget to make your green smoothies. You know the people that are really following me now. Yes, and I have not eaten anything all morning because I was so nervous. All right, Facebook says the only thing I'm writing are quotes. As long as you're quoting the quotes, Vix. Road Pat, I came to Nagoya once to pick up a car. Oh, Roman Cat is driving. No, Stacy, it's about you. I'm not gonna take you on a road with Pat. I'm not gonna take you on at all. Kirk Jamaicanese. That planting video is a favorite of mine. My platinum goal, really? Dre, amen, sister, amen. Dre, bring out the coffee pot. If you saw my video when I did the coffee, the coffee song, that was interesting. Oh yes, the plantains are from Ecuador, not Peru. From Platanus Japon. Yes, yes, I ship. I buy from them, and I usually buy the whole big box for me one. Yeah, because there's nobody that's close enough for you to share buying the plantains with. Somebody have to come for them, or somebody has to bring them. And just to traveling on the train alone, tie hen yo, tie hen this yo. All right. Yes. So yes, Stacy, they are very welcoming. I don't remember who she talking about. Maybe the people in the more rural areas. Fakes at Dre. This woman knows how to do it. Francophone isn't the Sashana, I laugh after me. So what is francophone? Listen to me, man. I don't know do it. Trust me, the rural areas strangely can feel more connected than big city life. I agree. Kirk says that reverse culture shock experience is real. Roll with Pat. I ordered plantains last week and they had equipment failure and cancelled my order. Mercy. What's your Pat? And you know, say, when them get stuck, it not last very long. So I hope you are able to catch the next one. Thanks again for joining me. Stacy, personally speaking, celebrating 5 years here in Japan. Remember, If you want something, you have to really want it bad. And what do I mean by that? You have to want it so much that you are spiritually strong and grounded. So be spiritually strong and grounded if you really want it. Be spiritually strong and grounded. Be emotionally strong and aware. Adjust your mindset appropriately. Adjust your concept of community, right? And I'm talking about coming to a foreign country and do more of what you really enjoy. This has been a wonderful time sharing with all of you, from Stacy in Japan to Stacy personally speaking. Thank you and God bless you. Commit your ways unto the Lord, and He will direct and establish your thoughts and plans. God bless you. Have a wonderful Saturday evening, Sunday morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye for now. Thank you, Roll with Pat. This was a nice space this morning. Keep doing you, Stacy. I see you have this thing figured out. Roll with Pat, we will talk later on. I have nothing figured out, only allowing God to lead and guide me. This is something I will try to do because, as I said, I've always been thinking of helping people, and I know there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people who are hurting here in Japan, who are experiencing mental difficulty, and they are suffering silently. And I'm trying to get them not to do so because they don't have to. They don't have to. We have a community, Jamaicans living in Japan. If you are not a part of that Facebook group, of course, to qualify, you have to be a Jamaican and you have to be living in Japan or within 3 months of arriving to Japan. And right now, the borders are closed off from entering Japan. So, domo sumimasen deshita if you can't join the group at this time. All right, I'm going to. Sashana says Francophone means her country is French speaking. I'm learning. I'm learning. Never too old to learn. Never too old to learn. Facebook says the feeling is mutual. Facebook, don't do that. I feel excluded. Facebook, I'm sorry, but it's just a way to protect our space. It's a way to protect our space, and that's why it is only for Jamaicans. You have to be Jamaican. And the thing is, there are persons who were born in other countries but of Jamaican parentage that have been allowed in the group because they want to feel that connection. Don't worry, Facebook, we can connect here. We can connect here. And hopefully when I get to a certain level, I've seen another YouTuber who had persons who were able to call in to the live and they were on it talking with each other. I don't know how that works. Don't know how any of that works, but I really appreciate your time, support, posts. Remember to support the other persons who have YouTube channels on here. Sashana, go for that channel. Check out my other links, my artistic endeavors if you have time, and don't don't stay alone. Don't be alone in this time on this journey. You don't have to be alone. All right. Thank you so much, Pat, Fakes, Vix, Sashana, Kirk, Sabrina, Dan, all of you who have shared with me. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you. And I'm going to sign off. Bye for now from Stacy, personally speaking. Yes, I had a nice time chatting with you too. And I'm getting messages on my WhatsApp which indicate that there are other persons on the platform who did not make themselves known. So I will not call their names, but I appreciate you all for taking the time to join this. Vic says, no problem. I'm perfectly aware of it. Also, I believe there's a lack of cheese and if I follow you guys, I will be here all day Church is finished now. Church ends at 10:30. It is 10:22 a.m. here, which means I didn't go to church this morning. I can go to another service, but it's going to be in all Japanese. And I didn't register for the Japanese service. So let's move on. Goodbye. Bye bye. Sayonara. Mata yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Bye for now from Stacy, personally speaking.